4.3 billion people live across this vast continent called Asia, and we are telling their stories. On this edition, Rebelling in Style, punk culture is becoming popular among some of Myanmar's youth who dare to defy old traditions. Riding the waves of change, how surfing has encouraged children in southern India to go to school and empowered women to break gender taboos, and dancing their way out of poverty. Poor children in a Philippine city dream to get out of the slums through competitive ballroom dancing. I'm Andy Saputra, and this is Assignment Asia. An underground culture is sweeping the youth in a country long isolated from much of the world. Some of Myanmar's youth have gone punk. I met one punk rocker in Myanmar who sees his way of life as a rebellion against conformity and tradition. They may sound and look like angry young men, disaffected youth, but they are some of the new faces you see today in the new Myanmar. Wearing a studded leather jacket and heavy black boots, these young guys represent the new generation of punk in the country. And in a place where most men still wear traditional clothing, dressing in the punk style is an act of rebellion.
People think I'm crazy and don't talk to me, but I don't care.
His real name is Sat Musain, but he calls himself Sid, after the punk legend Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols. He and his friends are in a band called System Down, one of the few punk groups in this growing underground culture. Punk has history that dates back some 40 years in the West, but it first emerged in Myanmar less than 10 years ago. For decades, Myanmar was isolated from much of the world, a country and culture with a history deeply steeped in the Buddhist traditions, and until recently, governed by conservative military rulers. But since stricter conventions became relaxed in 2010, more people from the outside have been coming in, bringing with them ideas that are new to Myanmar. For Sid and his friends, punk is much more than a fashion statement. It's a new way of life, a show of independence, of personality. In a country where conformity is expected for so many years, this group of young rebels are paying a steep price for a chance to express themselves. Sid says that embracing the new punk lifestyle gives people like him a sense of freedom. For Sid, the price is his education. He was the top student in his class at a medical college. His classmates called him Einstein. But when he started coming to class dressed in punk clothing, his friends stopped talking to him. He felt ostracized and eventually dropped out.
ယူကျင်အောင်ဆောင်သွားတယ်သူများတွေကနောက်ကနေနောက်လာပြောင်းလာရှိရင်မသိကြအောင်ဆောင်သွားတာတော့ပါလို့ရှိတယ်မသိကြအောင်ဆောင်သွားတာကြာလေးကနောက်ကနေလှမ်းခေါ်ရင်ငါ့ကိုခေါ်တာလားလို့မပြန်တော့မင်းတခါလဲလှည့်ပြန်လာတော့ပါလို့ရှိတယ်အဲ့တော့စကားနဲ့နဲသွားတာပေါ့နော်အကြောင်းပါကြရင်တော့အဲ့တော့သူများတွေစကားလိုက်ပြောတဲ့ကောင်လေးတွေတော့ရှိတယ်
Culturally, the punk movement is still too new and too foreign for many Myanmarese to understand.
We did not have a lot of chances to touch the others' culture, others' music, and you can also say that's also one of the reasons that the people were not familiar with those kind of punk musician.
Sid's mother didn't quite get it either, but over time, she says, she came to support his decision.
စိတ်ပူတယ်ဘယ်လိုစိတ်ပူလဲဆိုတော့ तू ဒီလိုပဲပတ်နဲ့သွားနေတယ်ဟေ့ဆိုရင်ပေါ့နော်သူ့ကိုအကျိုးပြုပါမလားဒီပတ်သူ့ကိုအကျိုးပြုပါမလားသူ့ရဲ့နေရေးထိုင်ရေးစားရေးတောက်ရေးပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒီအတွက်ဆိုရင်အမဘယ်လိုတာဝန်ယူပေးရမလဲပေါ့ကိုကရောဘယ်လိုတာဝန်ယူစေချင်တယ်လဲပေါ့ကိုအဲ့လိုလေးတော့စိတ်ပူတာပေါ့ဘယ်လိုပံ့ပိုးပေးရမလဲဥမာဒီပတ်ကိုပဲ तू စိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်ဟေ့ဆိုရင်လေပန့်ဆိုင်ကိုထောင်ပေးရမလား
A reaction like that from a parent would have been unimaginable in Myanmar a decade ago.
Now is really nice time. I mean, people nowadays are very lucky. They can have a lot of chances to do what they want to do, to express themselves.
But even though Sid's mother learned to accept him and society is slowly changing, early pioneers like Sid have to live with the consequences. Sid wasn't able to finish medical school, but now he works as a tutor, helping young students with their homeworks and school lessons.
တစ်ဖက်မှာတော့ကျဉ်နဲ့နေတယ်လို့ဖြစ်တယ်တစ်ဖက်မှာတော့ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲဝမ်းနေတာပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့တော့ဂယုမဆိုင်တော့ဘူးပေါ့နော်ဒီကိစ္စနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ပေါ့30ရာခိုင်နှုန်းလောက်ပဲရှိတာပေါ့100ရာခိုင်နှုန်းမှာတော့
ကိုဘွိုင်းမှာပဲဘာမှမထိခိုက်ဘူးလေပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ကိုလည်းမထိခိုက်ဘူးထိခိုက်အောင်မလုပ်ဘူးမိဘကိုလည်းထိခိုက်အောင်မလုပ်ဘူးသို့တော့ပညာရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတွေးမယ်ဟေ့ဆိုရင်တော့သူ့ကိုထိခိုက်နေတယ်ပေါ့
They may choose a different lifestyle, but these young men say even though their choice has its consequences, it is worth it to be themselves. As Myanmar's transition continues, so does the evolution of its culture, and these young punks are finding a place in it. Myanmar's punk still exists on the fringes of the country's once closed society. But for them, the freedom to express themselves, even with consequences, is worth it. Coming up next on Assignment Asia, women and children whose lives were changed by surfing. Surfing is one of the world's most popular sports, but in India, they are using it as an incentive for children to go to school and empower women to break out of taboos their society imposed on them. Jyoti Karat traveled along India's coastline and met with the people who rode the waves and bring meaning to their lives.
Growing up in a poor fishing family in India can be tough. Despite a long coastline and an ancient fishing tradition, the ocean has never cut a friendly figure in the Indian psyche. In Kovalam, a small beach town in South India, surfing was unheard of until a decade ago, when Jelle Rigol, a Belgian social worker, discovered that his favorite sport had the power to change young lives here.
I came to Kovalam as a volunteer to work in SISP, which stands for Sebastian Indian Social Project. And quickly I learned that here for children it's difficult to adapt to a school system. So all these children were brought up in a situation where they had to endure extreme poverty. So they were almost, all of them were forced to leave school because the family could not sustain their livelihoods, and the children were forced to go to work as well. As soon as age 6 or 7 they go to the market, they have to help cleaning fishing nets, they have to go back.
The Sebastian Indian Social Project is a non-governmental organization that runs a school for children from families who cannot afford 3 meals a day. When Jelle found out that children dropped out of school to help support the family, he decided to motivate them through what he knew best, surfing. And then the Kovalam Surf Club was born.
I gave them free surf lessons in the weekends on one condition: if they go to school every day.
Every weekend, before taking them out surfing, Jelle's team checks with the school to see if the children had full attendance during that week. Their love for surfing makes sure that they do.
You check, they all went to school, no? I go every day, sir. You go, sir?
Kovalam is quite an exceptional place. On the one hand, it is home to a thriving multi-million-dollar tourism industry. And on the other, it has a hidden dark side where people live below poverty line with little or no personal space.
This is the main harbor of Vinyam, of the fishing village. So they're very dependent on the sea for their income. And unfortunately, most of the men who run around here are heavy alcoholics. So most of the kids that walk around here, they come to CISP. They're forced to go to work, or they have to sleep outside because of problems with the family.
According to the SISP school's spokesperson, it is difficult to persuade kids from these backgrounds to study. They either have to work to support their families, or the parents don't see the benefit of education.
Those who are forced for work and interested for studying, it's easy for us to take them here and help the family a little bit financially and to keep the children here. For some, they don't take it serious because they always want to play. So they will come for 1 week or 2 weeks and then they quit.
Surfing provides motivation for kids who simply don't want to learn. Kevin is one of Jelle's success stories. After his father died in a fight, Kevin joined the Kovalam Surf Club and the CISP school when he was 10 years old. Now at 18, he has completed high school with good results and aspires to become an engineer.
Many other children in my village are working now. They wish to study, but their family conditions and others don't let them to study. Most of the people ask, why do you study? Why don't you work? In CISP, they give food in the morning, afternoon and in evening also. So it encourages the children to go to the school. And Jelle made a rule, if no school, no surfing. Because I like surfing more. So for coming to surfing, I went to the school. Then I liked the school also.
As surfing gives a new breath of life to the children in Kovalam. 700 kilometers north, along the west coast of India, an Indian couple is also ushering in the winds of change from a slightly different direction. Ishita Malavya and her partner Tushar Patian started the SHAKA Surf Club in Kodibengere, Karnataka 8 years ago. Today, Ishita is one of the most recognizable faces of the surfing industry in India, endorsed by giants like Quicksilver and Roxy. But she sees herself as much more than just a brand ambassador. She is a symbol of empowerment. They strive to use surfing to encourage women to break through the social taboos they were born into.
In India, the ocean is mostly considered a place for the men. You know, the fishermen, they go out to sea while the women stay at home. So the general perception was, why are you surfing? And from friends, family, and my colleagues, I faced remarks saying like, oh, Ishita, you've become so dark, you look like you've been working in a charcoal factory. And that's a big issue for them, you know, like fair skin is looked up to, and they don't, a big deterrent for them is getting dark, getting tan, and that's like, they don't want to surf for that reason.
To a patriarchal society in India, a surfing woman is nothing less than an absurd concept. More so because chances are that the woman would acquire a darker skin tone and thereby stand to lose great marriage prospects. With some difficulty, Ishita and Tushar has managed to persuade a few girls from the village to try their hand at surfing. 20-year-old KEERTHI is one among them.
First time ಹಾಗಾಗಿತ್ತು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗ್ತೇನೆ ಮುಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಿಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈಗೂ ಆ ಫಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆದರೆ ಬಾಯ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಮದುವೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಈಗ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಸನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಖಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ತುಂಬ ಫನಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೇನೆ ಆದರೂ ಇದೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ.
Fear of a dark skin color is not the only thing that's stopping these women from surfing. Young girls here are not allowed to interact freely with boys after they hit puberty. Therefore, surfing is out of question.
The reason is, after the puberty, if they have any intercourse or that, there's a possibility of her becoming pregnant and giving birth to a child. That is the reason why elders used to say, don't.
Ishita's partner and co-founder of SHAKA Surf Club, Tushar Patian, says that Ishita inspires confidence in the girls around her.
Just having Ishita being an approachable, normal person, as you would say, you know, someone you can relate to, and then knowing that she can go out and surf and do it, and you know, do it well, kind of puts that kind of faith in yourself. You're like, ah, man, being a girl, I think in India, in the village, you're kind of like, oh man, if you know, if she can do it, I think I can definitely do it.
In every seashore, such girls must come out on their own. Teach the young girls, take them out, make them good human beings.
ಮೊದಲೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಸೈಡ್ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಮಾತು ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಭಯ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇದೇ ಭಯ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ 2 ಸಲ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ 3ನೇ ಸಲ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ಫಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆವಾಗ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅದು ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೂ ಆ ಫಿಯರ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ.
Defying taboos that one has grown up with can be a great act of courage. And perhaps a little love and a role model are all you need to motivate someone to work for a better tomorrow. Here on the west coast of India, the winds are changing and a tide is rising. As the waves hit the shore, a few people are riding them, with their heads well above water. For Assignment Asia, I'm Jyoti Karat reporting from India.
Thanks to Kofalam Surf Club, many children there learn how to read and write, while others have embraced surfing as a full-time job and becoming instructors themselves. Next on Assignment Asia, dance sport and how it is inspiring children in the Philippine city of Cebu to get out of poverty. Competitive ballroom dancing, also known as dance sports, common among the wealthy in the Philippines, but today it has become more popular with Filipino children living in the slums who see it as a ticket out of poverty. Cheryl Baldicantos travels to Cebu City in the Philippines and met with a man whose life was transformed from rags to riches because of dance sports, and a girl who dreams of following his footsteps.
Kailangan ko mag-dance chair, ang kabalo, mag-dance sport, aram mo gawas sa TV. Kasi rin sa may 7 edad, ganun ko mag-shasha.
Riza May dreams of being a professional dancer. On Saturdays, When someone can help her cross the busy street, she comes here to practice. She lives in Cebu. In 2014, a survey showed that half the households here were living in poverty. For Riza May, dancing is one thing that gives her way out, even if it's just for a few hours. In the Philippines, ballroom dancing is a favorite among the elite because it's expensive and elegant. For the lower classes, it's just something intangible that they can watch on television and dream of doing. But one group is trying to change that. Since 2000, the Cebu City Dance Sports Team has been teaching children from the slums on how to dance. It's a free program that has helped Riza May and thousands of children like her.
We started as a social dancers, no? So we had fun, go out at night, and it became kind of monotonous. You know, every night you just go out. So we evolved into a competitive group. No, we were 2-3 couples. There were people who suggested to us, why don't we share it to the barangay kids?
Riza May, her sister and her father live in one of Cebu's biggest slum areas. Their mother left a long time ago and has another family now. The two girls don't have proper shoes or clothing. Their father had to sell them for food. They live in a space with thin wooden boards, old linens, and in some places, carton boxes used as dividers. Riza May's cousins, grandmother, grandfather, and uncles all share this area. Then some days, it's a challenge for the girls just to get to practice.
Naay mga karang sayaw-sayaw diri mo apil sila kay ganahan gyud sila. Kumadto sila sa complex dili gyud ko kakalabang nila kay namo koy tinda nasad koy bata.
Edward Heiko heads the Cebu City Sports Commission, which teaches not only dance sports, but other sports too, to disadvantaged children. He says it helps them have some structure and discipline. A refuge from a life centered on scraping to get by. Some children turn to a life of crime to help make ends meet for the family. And perhaps surprisingly, Edward says this can be used as an advantage in dance sports.
Snatchers, pickpocketers, I'll tell you, they are the most intelligent and creative kids, but they are just misdirected. And they're the most gutsy. Our purpose is to redirect this energy, creativity into something positive, and that's dance or other sports.
Many children in the Philippines who live in poverty also turn to begging and collecting trash to earn money. That's what 21-year-old Wilbert Alonzo did before he found dancing.
Wala po ko sa dance floor kay anang naka-strike o limpyo building, 4th floor, from 1st to 4th, and ang edad na to 13, tagamay 100 pesos. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. ang limpyo na mo sa building mo to copy yun. After sa masuhulan ako, kaya na ko payment ako, nalipay ko kay try sa ko pamusura.
At first, Wilbert was hesitant about dancing. He thought of it as something better suited for women than men. But he decided to give it a try.
Nasya ako, nilingaw sa nilay. Wala ko kayo interest kayo. Pero nabtag mga 10 days, 15 days, parang kaganahan ako ba?
Sa sinugdanan di jud ko gusto mo intra sa Wilbert anang dance sport kay wabya ko ikasuportar ana Nya mo kawat yun siyang practice. Nya kada uli niya ako siyang kasaban nga mo appeal siya na nga wala gitawon ko mahal biya kay mga needs na naa.
From a life of scavenging to a life of success, Wilbert is now one of the top dancers in the team. A true rags to riches story. Together with his partner, he has picked up a number of world championships. In 2015, they won gold at the dance festival in the UK, considered the most elite event in competitive ballroom dancing. Back in Cebu, the children dream of having a life like Wilbert's one day. But the fact remains that ballroom dancing is expensive. However, the program has gotten some international attention and donations have poured in from places like Australia and Singapore. They've received costumes, shoes, and airfare for competitions. The head teachers are all professional dancers. They've had big careers. They're all volunteers who receive little or no money.
Well, my reward is seeing them succeed. Yeah, not a menace to the society. Having reached their goal or finished studies or had a good job, and maybe some of them have families already, and being a good father or mother to their children.
And for those like Wilbert, who made it out of the slums and into a successful career, it's important to pay it forward by helping others.
The more you go, the more lesson yung mga nila. Anang like, mutudlo kanila.
For the past 15 years, more than 30,000 children in 80 barangays have been under the wing of the Cebu City Dance Sports team. Some village leaders have asked the team to continue the program because there's been a huge decline in crimes like pickpocketing.
We develop in the kids the virtue of self-respect, self-confidence, and self-esteem.
The dance sports program has been so successful, many children have gone abroad to compete, and they usually win gold.
Although sa mga challenges sa dance sport, dili na kay kaduot bakit tungod sa challenges na before bata ko.
For the children who are growing up in a family where there's a daily battle to survive, dancing has become an early career, a guiding dream. Even Riza May's father has seen a sparkle come back to his daughter's eyes.
Naot lang ko nga, mapadayon ilang ko na katong lang sayaw, para maabot, kamao na sila. Maabot ba puhon. Nagko sila, kamao na sila. Mao na manayaw di. Siguro mo na ilang kuanan. Asinsuhan.
For Assignment Asia, I'm Cheryl Baldicantos in Cebu City, Philippines.
More than 30,000 children practice dance sport in Cebu City alone. In 2009, almost 8,000 dancers performed at the same time for 10 minutes, earning the city a Guinness World Record. Now you can learn more about this story and all the stories on today's show by visiting our website on www.assignment-asia.com. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Andy Saputra. Thanks for watching, and join us again next time on Assignment Asia. Share your thoughts and contribute story ideas for future shows by contacting us on social media.